Hi there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. So this is going to be the last of my 20th Century Fox titles. So this is going to be a collection video. This is going to be the DVDs that I have, which is thankfully not many left. Some I definitely need to upgrade to Blu-ray. So let's get on to it, shall we? Film I've only seen a couple of times, but it's very good. Cocoon. I wouldn't mind getting the second one and giving that a go as well. So that's Cocoon. This one's a bit of a strange one, but it's pretty fun and there's some crazy stunts in it. Bit of an odd concept, but no, I like it. I think it's a good film. And it is Pushing Tin. So it's about these guys that work in the control towers at an airport. And at one point they kind of go out and stand on the runway, which I think is this sort of thing going on here, and they get the jet wash and it sort of throws them along the ground. But yeah, so that's Pushing Tin, John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton. This film I definitely need to upgrade to Blu-ray, and it is Men of Honor, starring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro. Now these, these diving suits were obviously used way back in the early days of diving, but occasionally they still need to use them. And it's, yeah, being as I used to be a swimmer, and I used to be really good at holding my breath and stuff like that, yeah, it's sort of watching this, kind of find myself holding my breath at times. But I want to upgrade it to Blu-ray, so obviously being as the 20th Century Fox, we won't get 4Ks of them, I doubt it, so Blu-ray it will be, Men of Honor. I was disappointed with this one. It's a Heath Ledger film, but I may need to watch it again. Well, no, I'll watch it again because I've only seen it once and I wasn't that impressed. So maybe I didn't quite get it, but it is the Sin Eater. So, you know, we all know how good Heath Ledger was as an actor, even before playing the Joker in The Dark Knight. Yeah, The Dark Knight, isn't it? That's right. Anyway, so yes, the Sin Eater. There's some really good sound design in this film. Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman in Behind Enemy Lines. There's a scene where there's a sniper involved, and if you've got a proper surround sound system, it made me jump basically. But yes, a very good sound design in this, and it's a really good film. I think Owen does a really good job, because he usually does comedic roles. This one is clearly not a comedic role, but he's very good in this film, as always is Gene Hackman. Oh, now this film. Now I swear blind I brought this on Blu-ray to upgrade it. Definitely going to have to do that. I know, pretty sure we watched it on Prime to see it in HD because I really wanted to. And it does star the amazing Sean Connery and the stunning Catherine Zeta-Jones. And yes, Entrapment. We all know the famous scene. So those younger of you who may not have seen this, I advise you to watch the trailer, because there's a very lovely scene which involves a kind of a ballet that you see all these lines, these laser lines, and this lovely sort of catsuit type thing that Catherine is wearing. She moves around a lot, and it's a really good scene actually, but it's a brilliant film. If you get vertigo, there's a couple of scenes that might cause you problems, so be careful. This is kind of an odd film, but it's also pretty funny too. Stars Whoopi Goldberg, and it is Jumping Jack Flash. Yeah, kind of at the height of her career. I mean, her career's still going as far as I'm concerned, you know, it hasn't stopped. But yeah, around the time when she did Ghost and that sort of thing, I think this was also one of the films she did, but very good film. kind of a horror thriller, this one, starring Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning, and it is Hide and Seek. I think this was the beginning of me really getting into horror proper. So like I said, it's not really a horror, but it is, yeah, kind of a thriller. And I've got a few films like this that I was buying at the time. And of course, if you know my videos now, you know what other horrors I'm into. So anyway, Hide and Seek. This one's quite fun. And the cool thing is there's a drum set that's used in it, and it just happens to be the brand that I use, Mapex. And yeah, there's a really cool looking, he's always cool, don't get me wrong, but there's a really cool looking Steve Buscemi in this film. Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler, and it is Airheads. Basically, they're a sort of a rock stroke metal band, and they really want their song played on the radio. They just happen to be called the Lone Rangers. Yeah, doesn't really work, does it? But the DJ in this is one of the voices of the Simpsons characters. So you'll probably recognise his voice and go, oh, that's what he looks like. But yeah, it's a really cool film. I recommend it. So another Brendan Fraser film, also starring Elizabeth Hurley. This one I think is quite funny, and I need to watch it again because I've only seen it once and I really enjoyed it. And it is Bedazzled. So yeah, again, Brendan, I guess at the height of his career, you know, his career seems to have disappeared now, which is quite sad. But yeah, I think he's pretty funny in this, and it's a great film. The master of comedy, with a split personality at that. Jim Carrey and Me, Myself and Irene. There's some really funny jokes in this film, and there's some pretty sort of dark humour as well. Love it. Gotta love a Jim Carrey film. Again, at the height of his career, but his career hasn't really dipped. He's just decided to do less, hasn't he? So, wonderful film. Now this one, I really like this. Now there's another film that's very similar, which is actually better, called Dante's Peak. Because this is set in California. And, you know, Hollywood being Hollywood. The volcano. Some really good sound design in this. This film was when I first noticed that how important a subwoofer is to your surround sound system, or even just to your system. So there's a scene where one of their huge American fire engine gets launched into the air, and basically in a surround sound scenario it lands behind you. Instead of it just sort of being a pile of sort of foil, you know, tin and really light materials landing behind me, I really got the thud and the weight of the fire engine, and I was like really impressed with how it sounded, and was pleased that I got my system set up properly. So the subwoofer is for the weight of sound, not just for big booms and explosions. You know, it's not supposed to be boomy all the time. If anything, you shouldn't notice it at all, but you should also notice when it's not there, put it that way. Oh dear, this film. This film, I really liked it at first, and then recently I decided to watch it on, I think it was Prime, in HD, and sort of thought, has it aged? Has it aged well? No, it hasn't. The special effects look atrocious, and actually the acting was very much of its time. Two great actors though. I think they're brilliant, and it is Broken Arrow. You know, if you've got this on DVD and you haven't watched it for a while and you're thinking, I must upgrade it to Blu-ray, watch the DVD again first, because you might be saving yourself some money. Or if you find it in CEX or a charity shop or whatever thrift store or a kind of second-hand shop that you have in your country, then, you know, go for it. But otherwise, yeah, it's not that great. Good idea, but not that great. This one's a bit of fun. Really disappointed that the only animated character was the cat and not the dog as well, and that is Garfield. So Garfield, his nemesis Odie, is in the film, but he's just a regular dog. You know, they've animated Garfield correctly to how he looks in the books, but Odie is just a dog, and I really think that spoilt it. But it is a good film, and I do enjoy it, so won't be getting rid of it. Garfield. So this one's Eddie Murphy kind of making a bit of a comeback, and he'd sort of, I guess he'd gone off and done a few films that weren't that great, but I think he sort of redeemed himself a bit in these ones. Not sure if I've seen all three, and it doesn't actually look like he's in all three, but it is Dr. Doolittle. Ugh. Put my tongue in properly. Nice little slim set, and some great films. Now this one I really like. I know a lot of people don't. It's kind of a comic, sort of, not a DC or Marvel, I don't think. It may be Dark Horse. If you're into your comics and you know this, correct me. But it is Sean Connery in a film that basically made him decide, I've had enough of this, and it is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I really like this film. I think it's brilliant. And, you know, I thought the special effects were good at the time. I want to get it on Blu-ray to see how they've stood up to the test of time. But, you know, I've got a nice slip on it. I was pretty big into my slips even back in the DVD days. And of course it's a 2-disc set, so I was always trying to go for the best set possible. Trying to part a bit there, never mind. Oh, now this film. This is great fun. This is a, you know, a British comedy, but I do recommend it to any of you people from other countries if you haven't seen it already. And it's, you know, for us, it's quite a star cast. But Robert Carlyle is the lead actor. You may know him from 51st State, and also as the villain in, is it Tomorrow Never Dies, one of the Bond films where he's got a bullet lodged in his head and he's lost all his sort of, it's kind of made him really strong, and you know, it's very close to killing him. But yeah, it is the full Monty. Yeah, just a ragtag group of men that decides to become strippers, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really good film. Again, it got a nice slip on it. Ooh. Oh, and this film, yeah, I think this has a place in most people's hearts. And you know, the lead actor in it, no longer with us, but put on an absolutely stunning performance as always in any movie he did. And it is Mrs. Doubtfire. Such a good movie, and yeah, he's sorely missed, put it that way, because but got a nice slip on it. Might have to hunt it down on Blu-ray just to give it the best format possible. But yeah, so that's all my 20th Century Fox DVDs. That is the end of my 20th Century Fox part of my collection. So that means next we'll be going on 88. And those of you eagle-eyed will notice that the white bit has gone. So that shelf, and that shelf, and that shelf is all 88. And you're probably thinking, well, hang on, where's your Italian collection? Well, it's all up there with sleeves on. So that'll be, I'm not going to do it all at once. I'll probably start with the lovely slasher collection. So the white boxes that were up there were all my window boxes from Arrow, and they're now in a new shelf that's up on the wall over there. So if you want to carry on following my channel, and don't want to miss out the 88 part of my collection videos, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, set your notifications to all, and give this video a like, because I know you like it. And yeah, it will be in the playlist with all my other collection videos so far. So go and check those out if you want to see what else I have in my collection. And take it easy.